Hello, and thank you for joining us here at the First Alert Desk. I'm Maria Moreau. Memorial Day is just around the corner, and ahead of that, Memorial Day weekend. A lot of us are gearing up for a nice long weekend to unwind, spend some time with our loved ones, reflect on the meaning of this holiday. Some people looking at today, Wednesday, halfway through the work week, as the beginning of time that they are going to set some plans. Particularly, those plans are travel, where they're going to go, where they're going to stay, and Airbnb is going to be a major part of that. So let's talk about that a little. Now, this platform, we're all familiar with it, is a great way to find lodging in the area that you want to vacation at, or maybe you're coming to Georgia and trying to spend some time here. Well, now the platform is taking some new initiatives in what they call anti-party crackdown measures. And here to talk to us about that is Airbnb spokesperson Ben Bright. Ben, thank you so much for joining us here. I want to get into some of this, but at first, let's talk a little bit about what this measure is, because it's specific to monitoring and kind of cracking down on partying and disorderly activity ahead of Memorial Day and ahead of 4th of July. Is that correct?
That's right, and I mean you said at the beginning, and I think it's true that the overwhelming majority of people who are using our platform to travel, particularly during a holiday like Memorial Day, they're visiting friends, they're visiting family, or they're just trying to get away, spend a weekend on the lake, whatever it may be. That's all great. That's the type of travel, responsible travel that we want to support. What we're doing here, excuse me, is trying to find the needle in the haystack. The vast majority of bookings where people may be booking for the wrong reasons, where they're trying to throw what we refer to as an unauthorized party, meaning a party that our Airbnb host is not aware of and certainly does not consent to. And the vast majority of our hosts in Atlanta and throughout Georgia, of course, do not want parties occurring in their listings. So what we're doing is implementing elevated technologies and restrictions to try to the best of our abilities to crack down on those types of unauthorized parties and potential reservations that may bring a risk of a party.
And I want to talk a little bit about what reservations are being impacted in particular. So to break this measure down, these are blocks on 1 night and 2 night bookings at certain home listings. So in Georgia in particular, nearly 900 people were deterred from booking. In Atlanta, that number's at 400. So a lot of people feeling the impacts. I want to talk a little bit about what specifically this means for the host that is maybe looking to book someone for a day or two, and what it means for the visitor themselves.
Yeah, so and for those 900 folks last year for Memorial Day 2022 was the first time that we implemented this type of pilot product, and we did find that it worked. It reduced the rate of disruptive and unauthorized parties, which was exactly our goal. Now, it doesn't mean that any type of 1 night or 2 night booking attempt is going to get blocked. It's mainly focusing on folks who do not yet have that history of positive reviews on the platform. Or really have not yet earned that trust on the platform. If you have 30 positive reviews and you've shown over and over and over again that when you're booking, you're a good guest and you're respecting those properties and respecting those neighbors, this is unlikely to impact you. It was last year and it will be again this year. But if you're brand new to the platform, say you don't have any reviews, or if you have negative reviews, this may impact you, and it may mean that you're unable to complete a booking. So for those hosts, um, generally speaking, we have found that they're very supportive of these measures because they just flat out they don't want parties happening in their homes, not just because of the risk of property damage, but because they really deeply respect their neighbors and they know that that's a really important part of responsible hosting is staying on good terms with those neighbors and making sure that they're okay with everything that's going on.
And Ben, you touched upon some of the impacts that we're seeing when this was launched, the pilot program for this. Taking a look at Memorial Day weekend, some of those bookings are already starting to take place, people going through the process of securing their weekend schedules. What type of impact are we seeing? Has there been an increase in this specific type of 1 to 2 night bookings?
We always see those types of booking attempts, and this product actually went into effect a few weeks ago. We waited until just prior to the holiday to kind of get the word out. We didn't want people sort of being able to circumvent those types of systems if in fact that was their goal, to throw an unauthorized party. But look, when it comes to Memorial Day, and this will be in effect for 4th of July as well, what we know is that, again, the vast majority of folks, they're just traveling to see family, to see friends, get away with their family, whatever it may be. But there may be folks who are more likely to attempt to throw an unauthorized party than they would on, just say, a random weekend or a random weekend night. So that's why we need to bring in these elevated systems, and we have seen that they've been working.
So, just to be clear, Airbnb already has several policies, or has had several policies in place to deter anti-party and crackdowns, as we're calling it, or just that disorderly, loud behavior in Airbnb booked homes. Particularly, I'm talking about the community disturbance policy and the anti-party ban. How is this new measure different?
Well, so there's policies, and then there's systems that kind of back up those policies. So the policy, and we first implemented this in the summer of 2020, and we've since codified it as our policy moving forward, is that we ban parties and we ban party houses. So when we refer to a party house, that's, say, a property or a listing where parties are happening too often and we're getting complaints from neighbors through our 24/7 neighborhood support line. Those aren't the type of listings, of course, that we want on our platform. We've taken down a number of party house listings in Atlanta, and we'll continue to work through that. But what we're talking about here for the Memorial Day weekend and for 4th of July weekend are more, products and technologies to help us enforce that policy, because we know that there may be more attempts to try to get away with an unauthorized party during these particular weekends.
And I want to take a second to maybe address the elephant in the room. Airbnb has garnered some criticism in the past for high costs, hidden fees, and now with these lodging restrictions in place, what do you say to people who are just trying to go through the process, trying to integrate with, or use this app, I should say, and feeling discouraged?
Yeah, so for the majority of people, it's not going to impact them. What we're trying to do with these systems is to, again, try to find those needles in the haystack, to try to the best of our ability to reduce the risk of disruptive and unauthorized parties, because we know what a disturbance that can be, not just for a host but for neighbors too. When it comes to fees and costs, we've recently really overhauled our platform to be much more transparent about the all-in costs, and our CEO Brian Chesky has been kind of reworking our entire product roadmap to focus on those more modestly expensive listings, because we know the direction, unfortunately, the economy may be headed, that people still want to get out, they still want to travel, they still want to see family and friends, but they may be looking for more affordable options. We have that on Airbnb, whether it's a guest suite or a private room, or whatever it may be. We have really high quality options at all price points, and we're looking to build that out further, and to give our guest community what they're looking for.
We're talking with Ben Bright. He is a spokesperson for Airbnb. A lot of people look at Atlanta, Georgia as just this fantastic place to visit. We're a popular travel destination, and with that, a lot of Airbnb bookings at play. So with the holiday coming up, with the weekend, that a lot of people are going to be taking advantage of that long period of time with friends and loved ones. Those navigating the Airbnb app, what advice do you have for them, specifically here in Georgia?
Yeah, so my advice is always to use those search filters liberally, to really hone in on what exact neighborhood do you want to be staying in, what type of property are you looking for, because we really have it all, whether it's a 6-bedroom home down to a private suite in someone's home. Some people are really searching for that interaction with a host, which is kind of a unique factor that we have with Airbnb. Some people just want 100% privacy, a home to themselves. We have that as well. What we always strongly encourage is to talk to those hosts on the front end, get those questions answered. Read the reviews first. That's a really important part of our platform, but talk to that host. Make sure that you're aligned on all expectations, and that it's the right property for you.
And there's that app right there. Just wanted to show it a little bit. Very visually easy to use, fantastic way to set up lodging, just being aware of some of those policies in place, especially with more and more people taking advantage of this long weekend and trying to book some lodging. Ben Bright, thank you so much for joining us. Of course, we're going to have more on this and tips for you out there that are trying to set up your weekend plans. If you're using Airbnb, we're going to have a link to some more information that will be useful to you on our website, atlantanewsfirst.com. Thanks so much.
Thank you.